Imagine that, you are standing at the foot of the Burj Khalifa in the 2020s, a moderately warm wind from the desert, the glass of the skyscraper reflects the sun, and its peak is lost in the blue sky. Now fast forward to the year 4700. Where the world's tallest tower once stood, there stands not just a building, but a giant, living structure capable of withstanding climatic storms, managing energy, and even interacting with humans. After almost 3 millennia, the Burj Khalifa is no longer an architectural symbol, but a technological organism. An evolution that is difficult to imagine. But let's try. The Burj Khalifa of the 2020s is a memory of the beginning of the era of super-tall skyscrapers. In those years, the tower represented Dubai's ambitions, an 828-meter-high glass and steel needle that was considered the pinnacle of engineering courage. The elevator lifts at a speed of 10 meters per second, the facade panels withstand strong winds, and the cooling system protects the building from dry heat. At the time, it seemed that this was the limit of what a person was capable of. But since the beginning of the third millennium, urban planning has ceased to be a competition in height, it has become a struggle for survival. By 2500, the desert climate had changed so much that Burj Khalifa had to undergo its first large-scale adaptation. Rising temperatures, enduring dust storms, and new chemical compounds in the atmosphere all required protection. Then the building was shrouded in a translucent nanocoating that reflected excess heat and purified the air around it. For the first time, the tower began to breathe, not metaphorically, but literally, collecting moisture from the air and converting it into industrial water. The following centuries brought a new revolution: rising sea levels. Although Dubai was located far from the ocean line, the global restructuring of ecosystems led to a change in the regional climate. By the year 3000, the sands around the city had become islands among a complex system of canals. The city has become a hybrid of water and land infrastructure. Burj Khalifa has received new foundation rings, huge platforms that distribute pressure so that the building does not succumb to gradual changes in the ground. But this is just the beginning. By about 3500, the architecture of the world had become organic. People learned how to grow materials that could adapt to the environment, repair damage, and change shape depending on requirements. Then Burj Khalifa experienced a rebirth. Its former facade became an inner shell, inside which a new structure developed, biomimetic, flexible, absorbing wind energy and using sunlight with almost no losses. The tower has become a living organism, and the city around it is part of a gigantic natural and technological ecosystem. By the year 4000, the difference between the building and the power plant had disappeared. Burj Khalifa has become the core, the heart of the city, generating energy for millions of people. She collected the sun's rays during the day, redistributed energy at night, and accumulated it in crystal structures, which then became the main method of storage. The tower was no longer just standing. She controlled the air flow, created a comfortable microclimate around herself, and protected the lower levels of the city from heat and storms. By the year 4500, architecture had risen above the boundaries of the atmosphere. The first gravity stabilizers appeared, devices that reduced the weight of giant structures. Based on them, the Burj Khalifa was modernized, expanding its upper part into a giant platform that hung over the city like a shining dome. It was not just a decoration, this structure protected the city from solar radiation, playing the role of a filter. The light passing through her became soft, safe, and comfortable. The people under the dome lived as in an eternal dawn. And now we are approaching something that seems impossible today. The year is 4700. The Burj Khalifa no longer looks like it once stood in the 2020s. Its former form is only a memory that can be seen in the archives. It is now a giant vertical ecosystem made of flexible, self-healing materials. It stretches upward so high that it becomes part of the air currents of the upper atmosphere. The foundation has long been no longer based solely on the ground. Energy grids are located under it, distributing the load in space and stabilizing the entire structure. In fact, it's not a building, it's a pillar connecting the surface and the air. Inside the tower there are not offices and apartments, as before, but entire spatial ecospheres. Each of them is a climatically independent environment. Old Dubai is being recreated somewhere: oases, palm trees, sand, the leisurely light of sunset. In other sectors, there are high-tech gravity-controlled spaces where humans and robots are working on projects for future colonies. The exterior of the Burj Khalifa 4700 glows with soft iridescences. This is not decorative light, but its bioluminescent materials, which regulate energy levels, reflect harmful radiation, and interact with the climate. The tower can change the density of the facade, let in more or less air, and create artificial clouds that protect the city. It is even capable of redirecting air currents, softening the heat in the lower areas of the metropolis. But the most amazing thing is her intelligence. The Burj Khalifa of 4700 has a complex control system that resembles a primitive mind. It analyzes data on climate, energy, population, air flows, and the state of materials, and makes decisions on its own, optimizing the operation of the megastructure. Architecture has become independent. It serves people, but does not depend on their direct control. If in the 2020s people admired the height of the tower, then in the year 4700 they admire its meaning. It has become a symbol that humanity has found a way to harmony with nature, technology, and time. This is no longer a monument to ambition. It is a monument to survival, adaptation, and development. Burj Khalifa has gone from a steel symbol of modernity to a living pillar of civilization. And perhaps in another couple of thousand years it will change again, because the architecture of the future is no longer being built. It's evolving.